Gellert Grindelwald, to some a visionary ahead of his time, to others the darkest wizard to ever live, second only to Voldemort himself. His name carries whispers of power, betrayal, and a dream that nearly tore apart the entire wizarding world. But behind the lies lies a story filled with brilliant tragedy and choices that changed history. Today we'll walk through the complete timeline of Gellert Grindelwald, from his youth as a gifted prodigy to his rise as a revolutionary, his fateful bond with Albus Dumbledore, and his ultimate defeat in one of the most legendary duels of all time. Grab your wands. This is the untold story of Gellert Grindelwald. Gellert Grindelwald was born around 1883 in Europe. His exact birthplace remains mysterious, but his early brilliance was undeniable. As a boy, he was sent to Durmstrang Institute, a wizarding school known for its rigorous teaching and its tolerance of the dark arts. Unlike Hogwarts, where such practices were forbidden, Durmstrang encouraged exploration of dangerous magic. Grindelwald thrived there. He wasn't just talented, he was extraordinary. By his teenage years, he was experimenting with spells so dangerous, so ruthless, that even Durmstrang, a school infamous for its leniency, expelled him. But Grindelwald didn't leave in disgrace. He left with knowledge of forbidden curses, alchemy, and a hunger for something greater. Already whispers followed him. This boy could change the wizarding world forever. After his expulsion, Grindelwald travelled to Britain, to Godric's Hollow, a village with deep magical roots. There he stayed with his great-aunt Bathilda Bagshot, the famous magical historian. It was here that Grindelwald's fate collided with that of a young man who would become his greatest friend and his greatest enemy, Albus Dumbledore. Dumbledore had just finished Hogwarts, grieving the recent death of his mother and caring for his troubled sister, Ariana. He was brilliant, ambitious, but also isolated, hungry for companionship and someone who could match his intellect. When Grindelwald and Dumbledore met, it was electric. Two of the brightest minds of their generation, united by shared dreams. Together they envisioned a new world order. Wizards would rise above muggles, ruling them for the greater good. To them, it wasn't tyranny, it was destiny. They dreamed of collecting the Deathly Hallows, the Elder Wand, the Resurrection Stone, and the Cloak of Invisibility to become masters of death and reshape the future. But not everyone shared their vision. Albus's brother, Aberforth, saw through Grindelwald's charm. He accused him of corrupting Albus and neglecting Ariana. The confrontation turned violent. A three-way duel erupted between Grindelwald, Albus, and Aberforth. When the spells cleared, Ariana lay dead. No one knew whose curse had killed her, but Grindelwald fled, leaving Dumbledore shattered with guilt and ending their friendship forever. After Godric's Hollow, Grindelwald began travelling across Europe. His dream had not died, it had only sharpened. He gathered followers with promises of wizarding supremacy. To them, he was not a tyrant, but a visionary, offering a future where wizards no longer lived in secrecy, bound by the International Statute of Secrecy. Grindelwald believed the magical world had shackled itself by hiding from muggles. He argued that wizards should take their rightful place as leaders, not for cruelty, he claimed, but for order, for progress, for the greater good. His charisma was magnetic. Brilliant witches and wizards flocked to him. By the 1920s, he had already planted the seeds of a revolution that would one day engulf the world. And at the heart of his ambition was a single obsession: the Elder Wand, the most powerful wand ever created. In 1926, Grindelwald's rise accelerated. Disguised as a wizard, disguised as the wizard Percival Graves, he infiltrated the American wizarding government, the MACUSA. There he sought an obscurial, a young magical child whose suppressed power could devastate entire cities. This led to his fateful encounter with Newt Scamander in New York. Though Grindelwald was ultimately captured, his imprisonment didn't last. His ideas had already taken root. By the 1930s, Grindelwald had constructed Nurmengard Castle, a fortress that became both his base of power and a prison for those who opposed him. Above its gates, he etched his chilling motto, "For the greater good." It was around this time that Grindelwald achieved his ultimate goal, possession of the Elder Wand. With the Death Stick in his grasp, his power became legendary. No wizard alive could match him. No duel could best him. Grindelwald was unstoppable. By the 1930s, Grindelwald's revolution exploded into open war. Across Europe, entire communities fell under his control. Ministries of magic toppled like dominoes. His followers, fanatically loyal, carried his vision with fire and fear. Yet Grindelwald's conquest was not mindless destruction. He was calculating, building alliances and spreading propaganda. He presented himself not as a villain, but as a liberator, a leader who would free wizards from hiding and elevate them to their rightful place above muggles. But beyond the speeches lay brutality. Entire families vanished. Opponents were imprisoned or executed. Even those who once admired him began to fear his power. During this time, the Muggle world was plunged into World War II. Grindelwald largely avoided direct interference, but his shadow overlapped with global chaos. While Muggles fought their war, the wizarding world waged one of its own. For nearly 2 decades, no one could stop him. No one except the one man he had once called a friend. By 1945, Grindelwald controlled much of Europe. His influence stretched across continents. He seemed invincible. But one name haunted him: Albus Dumbledore. For years, Dumbledore had refused to confront Grindelwald. Guilt over Ariana's death paralyzed him. Facing Grindelwald meant facing his past and the truth of the bond they once shared. But eventually, Dumbledore could wait no longer. The world was burning, and only he could stop it. In 1945, the 2 greatest wizards of their age finally met in battle. The duel lasted hours. Their magic shook the earth, shattering buildings, and was witnessed by countless wizards. It has gone down as the most legendary wizarding duel in history. In the end, Dumbledore triumphed. He disarmed Grindelwald, claiming the Elder Wand for himself. Grindelwald was imprisoned in his own fortress of Nurmengard, the prison he had built for others. The greatest dark wizard of his age was finally defeated. Locked away in Nurmengard, Grindelwald spent the rest of his life in solitary confinement, but his story wasn't finished. Decades later, another dark wizard rose to power: Lord Voldemort. Like Grindelwald, he sought domination, feared death, and hungered for the Elder Wand. In 1998, during the Second Wizarding War, Voldemort came to Nurmengard. He sought the truth. Where was the Elder Wand? There, the 2 Dark Lords finally met, but Grindelwald, older, broken yet unbowed, refused to serve Voldemort. He mocked him, he defied him, and he took Voldemort's wrath without revealing the truth. In that moment, Grindelwald, who'd once sought immortality and domination, embraced death with defiance. Voldemort killed him on the spot, but in refusing to betray the wand's secret, Grindelwald showed a flicker of dignity, perhaps even redemption. So how should we remember Gellert Grindelwald? As a villain, a revolutionary, a man consumed by ambition, or a tragic figure undone by his own brilliance? History paints him as all of these things. His war scarred the wizarding world, reshaping international law and reinforcing the secrecy that still binds it today. He was proof that even the most brilliant minds can be corrupted by power. Yet, in his final act, he showed courage, a refusal to kneel to Voldemort, the very wizard who would eclipse his legend. And perhaps most haunting of all is this: Grindelwald might have succeeded had Albus Dumbledore not stood in his way. From boy prodigy to dark revolutionary, from Ariana Dumbledore's tragedy to his final stand against Voldemort, Gellert Grindelwald's life is one of the most complex in wizarding history. He reminds us that the line between brilliance and darkness is often razor thin, and that power without humility always ends in ruin. So what do you think? Was Grindelwald the most dangerous dark wizard of all time? Or does Voldemort still hold that crown? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to Harry Potter University for more magical deep dives. Mischief managed.